good and it's all sweet. All women flirt, all women cheat. So I might spend a week down in Virginia Beach, out of inner sheets, blaze 23. Be the bad boy everybody wanna meet. Practice what I preach, now I'm caught with the cheese. If I ain't work late, I say I was with my peeps. Too quick to tell a hoe, yo, I ain't get the peep. And all these girls is quite the same. So it ain't your pencil, it's how you write your name.
Put some backing tracks. We're back in this. Where we going? Hey. You don't even realize what's going on here. Yes, you know about this. You know. Wait, hold on. If you know that you cheat while you live with that girl, she cheated. Oh, why she cheating on you? Why she cheating on you? Oh. I'm having fun with this, man. Hey, who am I going with live next? Hey, Rudy, man. Hey, Zach, did I see Rudy jump in? Hey, Rudy, man, come, let's do this, man. Rudy Balls. Hey, Rudy, I put you on YouTube, you know. I did. But Rudy's not there no more. It's never personal. It's never personal. It's just podcasting. Gunshot. So then, it's never personal. Hey, what happened? We was slow. You know what happened? We hit 2 hours. Now we're on to the third. Wait, 1 hour? Yeah. Case didn't like. Case, we're having a good conversation. You didn't want to say that you picked the guy that cheated on you. I know. Accountability is your downfall, even when it's your fault. This is what I'm saying to you. Hey, Miss Envy, I'm liking that. This is what I'm trying to say, Miss Envy. I didn't cut you off. Instagram was hating. You can come back. But I feel like steam was coming out. Steam was coming out. But you can come back. You know, this is, accountability is your downfall, even when it's not your fault. It's the key. This is what I'm saying. This is what men understand. It's always my fault, even when it's not my fault. You know how much stuff I have to run and business and things I have to put together. It's always my fault. And that's what someone taught me. I remember when I was younger and I hated the fact it was like, don't bother me with problems, just bring me results. I don't want to hear problems, I just want to see results. And it stuck with me, you know? And it stayed with me. People don't care. Like, they want, in business, in life, people want a man that can produce results, not someone that brings problems. Oh, this happened, that happened. No. You just come and it got done. Then maybe you say, oh, this happened, but I got it done. The only time I want to hear about what happened is if you're going to follow with, I got it done. I don't want to hear excuses. Like, don't bother me excuses. Just bring me results, you know? I don't care. Y'all want to leave immediately. If I make a mistake, I want to be forgiven too. Hey, women don't make mistakes. Not like that. When a woman goes, she knows what she's doing. She don't make no mistakes. Men can slip up though. Literally, men can slip up. But women, women, when they're about to get some, they know they're gonna get some. That whole stuff is waxed and shaved.
My greasy ass face.
Listen. I got time for greasy ass faces. I got time
it's
for.
Not actually grease. We're all lathered up over here.
I got time for wild hair. What I don't have time for is black squares, yeah. And they keep bringing me black squares. So as long as you don't bring me a black square, you're like, You get one star by your name for that. So
Now, I
thank
just
you.
wanted to explain what I meant, because a lot of women are jumping at me saying accountability, but I've been through domestic violence, like proper bad, like real bad. And I went on the podcast that you were on the other week and spoke about it. And
Wait,
when
what podcast did you go on?
Sinners?
Huh?
Sinners?
Oh, you were Sinners?
Mm.
Yeah. Wait, I think I see your face on. Wait.
Yeah, probably. I was with the
Yeah.
actual crazy one that got her ass out. She was great.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
see.
so accountability, I'm not saying we have to be accountable for cheating or we have to be accountable for domestic violence, but I have to be accountable for my part in that. I didn't go through a whole heap of domestic violence without some fault, because I stayed. And I have to be accountable that I stayed thinking I was going to change that man, and I never was going to change that man. And my whole relationship history, which is not loads, but they've all cheated. So at some point, I've picked that man that's going to cheat. I've picked that type of temperament. I've picked that type of behavior. I've picked that type of personality. And now I broke that chain by going to therapy, not putting my trauma on the next man, not telling like the next man and leading with my trauma. Like, I have PTSD, but I don't lead every date I go on with, oh, I have PTSD, so you need to now heal me. It's not a man's job to heal somebody else's trauma that they've given me. So it's like, when I'm saying be accountable for the stuff you're going through, I'm not saying cheating is unforgivable or forgivable. I don't really have an opinion on it at all, but you have to be accountable for staying in it or how you perceive that. Every woman that gets cheated on will say, I knew it. I knew this is what was happening. I knew that girl was trouble. I knew you were cheating. I knew this, because you know. Like, you have those signs ahead of it happening. And at that point of it happening, all those signs come in, that's when you should leave. You know that's when you should leave. Or you have the conversation as to why that man's even contemplating cheating on you in the first place. But I've got friends like that are very alternative marriages. So they're married. Some of them are allowed to go on dating sites and find girls to fuck. Like, that's their marriage. That's how they make it work. But the problem in society now is we've all got an opinion on how everybody deals with their situation. You know, if a man cheats, the first thing we do as women is we pick up the phone. Oh my God, you're never going to believe what he's done, Bob. You're speaking too much. You're supposed to be having that conversation with the man. So you then put bad mind into your friend's perception of that man. You've then got multiple opinions going into your like situation, your marriage, your relationship, whatever. Like, I've never been married. I've been one that's like, I don't want to get married. But I do. But it's only because I wasn't healed from my trauma that I was like, I don't want no marriage. I don't want this. But everybody's situation is different. And if we stopped having an opinion on those situations, everybody would live a little bit more happy. But everyone's idea of perfect is no cheating, picket fence, marriage, not marriage, whatever it is, we've all got an opinion on it. I don't talk for women. No, you're 100% right. I don't talk for women. What I'm saying is from my perspective and my personal experience of domestic violence, accepting that I stayed and that added to my now trauma has been a real big healing part for me.
Can I just stop you? I was waiting for someone to say it's giving pick me vibes. Kay.
Not pick me vibes. And I knew that was coming. You know I knew that was coming.
No, I was waiting for it to come, but I was seeing who was going to do it. I was waiting for who was going to do it. So whenever a woman doesn't agree with the common narrative that or what's being pushed by a certain amount of women, they call them a pick-me, a pick-meter. That is a shame and tactic, right? And what that's shame to do is try to create a thing where she's trying to be with the men. But in life, what I would say is better to be a pick-me than to be a skip-me. So in life, if you remember, we'll take it back to school when we used to play games, we used to do certain things. You know how it felt to be the last person to get picked? Now they try to act like it's getting picked is a bad thing. So by calling someone to pick me, you're just doing what? And when we talk about, they want to talk about toxic masculinity, which I say it's a farce. I say if you want to say toxic masculinity, then we'll talk about toxic femininity and feminazi. That's what we're talking about. She just gave her opinion of her personal opinion, and you called her a pick me. So that means your opinion is worth more than hers opinion. Why is that? Why do women shame other women? Why do women shame other women for having an opinion or a voice that's separate from other women? And this is what I always speak about. Women shame other women more. I don't see men shaming other women online. No, in actual fact, it's women that I see other women calling other women hoes and shaming when they don't agree with a certain narrative that's being pushed. So I just want to say sorry for interrupting you. Carry on.
No. Like I'm just reading some of the comments. Like, I've been to a lot of therapy. I never wanted to be that woman that took the baggage of the past crap into the next bit for me, because that's only going to damage my future. If I can't heal, then for me personally, I don't want to take that to somebody else, and that's another damaged person that I've hurt. And I never wanted someone to be like, I never wanted to put that on somebody else, and that might result in them going to therapy. I didn't want that. And, you know, I'm seeing these comments, and I agree, like, everybody's situation is different, and I'm not talking for all women, but everybody that goes to therapy comes out of it with something. So it might be that, it might not be that you stayed, it might be that you aided and abetted it. It may, you know, I don't know, and I'm not talking for all women. But
Shalina, let's go. Shalina, I need your face. I need your face on.
Give me 2 seconds. Continue talking. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on here being like, oh, all women should be like this. It's not that for me. I just give my experience, what I've been through, how I've healed, and where I'm at now. Some women will agree with that. Some women won't agree with it. And that's the beauty of life. We're not all here to run off one hymn sheet.
But never is it a. And here's the thing, right? When you're like, but never is it a woman's own fault, then you're like,
yeah, I'm
well,
not saying it's a woman's fault. Please understand that my domestic violence was. I'm now 8 years on. I'm still having surgery to correct the damage. Trust me when I say I know it wasn't my fault. But were there times where I could have asked for help and I was too embarrassed to say it was happening, and I could have left? 100%. Who knows? I would not have plates in my face and all this crap that's going on in my life now medically because of him. Like, I could have avoided that had I just been strong enough to ask for help and not be embarrassed by it. And I just want, you know, some woman might be on here going through that and think, fuck this, I'm out of it. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't want someone 10 years down the line still struggling with the effects of domestic violence because they can't be accountable that they could have left. And that's not saying it's a fault.
But when you say, when you say, oh, you have to take some accountability because the things you sparked, there's no excuse for no one hitting you.
No. So, what I'm saying is, accountability for me now is knowing I've been through it, I have to heal from it, and I have to move forward, not putting it on anybody else. I'm not saying it was okay, or he shouldn't have done it, or, you know, I caused it, or I did behaviours that made him hit me. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I have to take accountability now at the age of 30, so that I'm not putting this past 10 years of crap on the next relationship.
Em, can I ask you something? Did you report it to the police?
Yeah, I did, and he walked out of court with a £50 fine.
How long before you reported it to the police?
Straight away. Straight away.
Oh, what, in the beginning, and then after that you didn't, and you just carried on going, yeah?
Yeah.
But you did report it, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. See, the reason why I say, right, is if I was on a platform and then you was telling me your story, I would say to you, you reported it. And then you would tell me, yeah, I did. And then he got £50 fine, then I got back with him afterwards. And here's now where we'll be a little bit like, so you reported it, he went to court, he got a slap on the wrist, and then you went back to him, and then that's the point where you're going to tell me, yeah, I did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then, so this is what we're talking, this is the bit where she's talking about I need to be accountable for my actions. She's not blaming herself for a man hitting her, she's blaming herself for continually going back into a scenario where a man is going to be doing this to her, yeah? My thing is this, as a man that
was go back?
At the time, it's like now I speak on these podcasts and I'm so confident at whatever, but back at the time I wasn't the woman who I am now. I was 21-year-old. Oh my God, I've got this amazing guy that's really popular and this beautiful penthouse apartment. That's what I thought love was. I didn't know what love was. I didn't know, to be honest, at 30 now, do I even know what love is? I don't know. Like, but at the time I felt safe, which was the weirdest thing to say ever, because I was in the most vulnerable situation I could have ever been in. And like now, I look back, I was lost. I didn't have a very good relationship with my mom because I pushed her away because I didn't want her to find out. And like my sister was kept at a distance because I didn't want her to find out. He was fully in control of my well-being. So without him, I didn't feel like I was functioning, which is just ridiculous. But obviously I'm older and wise enough to say that now.
So what would you recommend to any woman that's in a domestic situation like you was in? What, like, obviously, you know, like you said, you've suffered immensely for it, emotionally and physically. What advice would you give? Because one of the things that I I advocate for on the platforms is women reporting. And I know that, you know, you did report it and nothing happened, like pretty much nothing happened, but I still rate you, I want to commend you for going through and reporting it. What happened afterwards, you know, about going back to him, that's another whole nother discussion, but you know, there's a lot of people that recognize or sympathize with their abusers or their captors. You know what I'm trying to say to you? It's not uncommon, but I do want all women to report it. Even if you feel like they're not going to do anything, still report it, because ultimately by reporting it creates a scenario where at least there's a record of it and you could be protecting other women.
I
At
feel
some
like,
point,
like now, like I'm older, like if I was going to give myself that advice at 21, it would be much easier to speak to somebody that doesn't know you emotively than it would be to talk to somebody emotively. But you may have
Stockholm
that.
syndrome. That's what I was thinking of. Thank you, man. That, yeah, Stockholm syndrome, man, is, you know, how many, I've seen it before when, you know, people have been kidnapped. What was that Fritz guy that kidnapped that girl, had the underneath whatever, or his daughter went underneath the ground, and then she could have escaped at times, but she didn't want to go. And I think when they freed her, she didn't. She still wanted to go back to him, but it's because it's that thing where I said there's an island on the same island with just you. Before or not, like you're gonna find some similarity, something. You know what I mean? Or you just it's survival, right? You just have to survive. So you're gonna survive and do the thing that you need to do. So I just think, I'm glad that you jumped on. I'm glad that you jumped on, and I'm glad that you're sharing your story and perspective, because all I'm ever trying to do is speak with perspective. But a lot of times I'll be speaking on behalf of, or from a point of.
You
like,
see what Kay said? You see what Kay said there? Sorry to jump in, like trauma bond. That is a real thing, and it's a real scary thing, because I'm now 8 years on, right? And I'll occasionally dip back into therapy because of my PTSD. So if it gets triggered, I'll be straight on the phone to the therapist just to get some like support. But that trauma bond is a really scary thing that's not talked about. And she is right. Trauma bond is like, so I'm now 8 years on, I think I am, or 9. And there's probably, and I'll sit here now as a big woman and tell you 10% of me that will go back.
Wow.
And not because I want to, not because I have any desire to, because that trauma that I carry in my PTSD, 10% of me in my weakest vulnerable days feel safe in that horrible situation. It's more scary to sit here single, alone, with PTSD in my head, in my thoughts, not eating, not sleeping, not showering, not doing all those horrific things that you go through in PTSD, because that trauma bond is the one thing that was the strongest thing, even though it was the most volatile and horrific thing I've ever been through. And people don't talk about it. That's why people go back. And the more time that passes, it diminishes and it diminishes and it diminishes, but it'll never leave you. So when women say, oh, you can heal from trauma fully, you can't. You can't. It's like, it's a real thing. And especially for Kay, because she's got children, which she has to put first. So that trauma bond is right in front of her face. So I take my hat off to her, because if she's sitting there, you know, like putting out her opinion and being strong and being vulnerable enough to sit on podcasts like this, I take my hat off to her, because everybody deals with these situations differently. And I'll always advocate for women who've been through domestic violence to deal with it however they see fit, because that's how we heal. We can't conform to one ideology of healing, because it's just not like that.
But then because she's got kids, I understand she still might have to be in communication with her ex-partner or whatever. But then people who don't have kids, I don't understand why they still feel like sometimes they need to go back, because
Yeah, like I've never clapped
Everyone's
eyes on my
not-
ex since I left.
Yeah.
Like I'll be real, like I've never clapped eyes on him. I may have seen him on social media or whatever, but I've never clapped eyes on him, and I've always made that way. I actually avidly avoid my hometown at times that I don't bump into him. But for her, like she can't do that. So yeah, it's even harder for those with kids in that situation.
But then now China, would you say that she picked that guy?
Yes, of course you did.
But I think, for me personally, like when China says we picked it, he's not saying you went out there and thought, right, you're going to be the guy I picked. We did pick that man. That man picked us. We didn't pick the cheating.
She even said 10% of her would go back.
Yeah, but that's her.
10% of her will pick, but 10% of her will pick him again. So,
and that's me being real and accountable. 90% of me is telling me, no, don't go back. So the chances of me going back are 0. But I'm real enough to say that in my most vulnerable moments, I
Oh,
find peace in that horrible situation, and it's horrific.
I'm sorry. I did not pick a woman beater, and yes, you did. You might not knowingly did it, but you did, and you did.
No,
You
but then
did.
you don't know because, like I say to
Oh,
you,
but
like,
you still picked him. I don't
no,
understand
but
what
it's
you.
one of them
I
ones.
think it's the wrong word. I think you're saying the
No,
wrong
but
word,
the thing
China. I
about
think I get it.
but
Like, you're not.
the
It's
thing
not
about this is,
picking.
yeah,
It's not picking to say, okay,
accountability.
cool, you want your life, because no one decides they want their
Did
life.
I
But
say that to you? Why are you getting triggered for? You still
I'm not.
picked him.
I'm not getting
You picked
triggered.
him.
It's like,
You
okay,
picked.
cool. It's like the
Yes,
same
I said
thing.
that,
It's
and
like
then
the same
no,
thing. If
cool.
you're with
No, but
someone, and
no.
for
There's a great
example,
area.
they even have,
Listen,
like, for example, a mental breakdown, you
Shalina,
didn't pick
Shalina,
someone like that. It
Shalina,
happens. It's a
Shalina,
part of life.
Shalina. You're over talking me. No one can hear me. There is no grey area. You picked him. Yes, you chose to lay down with this guy. Chose to make him your boyfriend, your husband, your whatever you did. Yes, you opened your legs. You had a baby by him, and then you chose him. If he turns out to be a waste man, you chose him. If I pick a girl and she turns out to go and ends up sleeping around the wall, I pick that girl.
Yeah, and
That's
on
the
the
one
flip
I
of
told to
that,
the mom of my children. Yeah,
on
yeah.
the
I
flip,
don't
on
get
the
to then
flip
go
of
back.
that, this is where they're going to get it. On the flip of that, if they don't cheat and they stay faithful, you picked him.
You picked him.
Yeah, you picked him. I think that's where them. We're not
That's
saying you're
bullshit.
picking it. You're picking
What?
a cheater. You picked that man.
That's
So if you pick
bullshit.
a
Because you could be
man,
with a guy. You could be with a guy and there's no problems in the relationship. So say you
yeah.
get with a guy when you're 18, marry him, have kids, everything, and then now he's in like his 40s. He decides he hasn't lived life the way he wants to. So now he starts to do it. So you're trying to say all of
No,
that.
no,
You
no. But
didn't
you
like.
didn't. So if they start to cheat at 40, you didn't pick him.
No, you didn't
So
pick
you
that.
didn't choose. Okay, let
Because
me change
people
the
could
word.
do
So
whatever
you
they want
didn't
to do. People
choose.
change, and that's okay. People
Yeah,
fall out of
that's
love. That's
fine.
okay. Also,
People change 100%, but we still chose to be with
Yeah.
that man. Take the word picking out. We still agreed to be in a relationship
You
with that man.
agree,
We
you
still
agree,
lay down with that man.
you agree.
Whether
Who
he
you gonna
changes
blame?
or he
Who you gonna
doesn't,
blame for your
we
choice?
pick that
Who you
man.
gonna blame? You're gonna blame for your choice. You want to blame someone. Who you gonna blame? Did the man force you to be with him, or did you continue to go there? Who do you want to blame?
okay, but there's, like I say, there's two types. Like when you meet someone and they act normal or behave normal for many, many years, that's who you chose. When behaviors start acting things, so it's like start
Okay,
changing
okay.
and
I get the
whatever.
point. I get the
It's one
point.
of them
You're
ones where
saying
that's
you
nothing what
picked.
you sign up to. That happened. Maybe, for example, somebody might have had a mental breakdown. It didn't mean when you was 18 you picked that guy. Do you get what I mean? You
Guys,
went to
guys, look,
the home and picked him
listen.
and said,
You're
"This is
choosing
it."
to purposely,
Shit
and this is
happens.
what I mean. This is like the submission and cooperation word, right? And legal. You choose to purposely get triggered by something when I've made it clear what I mean, right?
No, no, no. That's not what they're saying. That's not what they're
You
saying, right?
chose,
They're
you
saying
chose
they
Who?
the guy,
Who's
picked.
right?
getting
You chose
triggered?
the guy. You chose the guy, yeah? You chose this guy, yeah?
Yeah, but they
However,
chose. Nah, listen. I get
No,
it. I
you're
get the triggering. I
misunderstanding,
get it.
China.
I get the triggering now. They're saying we picked that man that was normal and nice and whatever. Even if that's a facade at the start, that's who they picked. That personality, those personality traits, that temperament. When that man flips into this horrible person, they're saying we didn't pick that temperament. That's not what we saw. That's not what we chose to be with. And I get both sides. I get what you're saying, China, and I get what these girls are trying to say because I hear what they're saying now. It's just choice of words and people getting triggered by certain words, including me. But like they're saying they picked the temperament that was put in front of them. That's what they're picking. I didn't pick. When I got with my ex, oh my God, if you'd have ever seen what my ex was like before he started with me, that's who I picked. Who I ended up staying with was not the same person. I picked him,
yeah, listen,
but he was bipolar.
Listen, but the thing about this, yeah, if I start making allowances, all you women want allowances for everything, and then all of a sudden there's no accountability for our choices. So this is the thing, right? Everybody's self-made, every single one of us, but only successful people admit it. So if you're a tramp on the road, you're self-made. If you've gone out there and you're self-made, but the only if you're driving a Bugatti or whatever, Bentley, or you're self-made. The only people that scream I'm self-made are successful people. Why is that? Are we not all the product of what we do? Are we not all independent? So that's self-made, right? It's the same thing with this. The only people that you only scream about the man that cheat. Why do you scream about, oh, you know what, I can pick good men, my good man choice? Because you don't. You don't. There's some women that never complain like this. Why do you think that is? Because they make good choices and good decisions.
No, but what about the ones what they don't pick?
Hold on a second. At some point, who are you trying to blame else? Just go and pick a man that does not cheat. Go pick a man go pick a man that's in church, yeah? And you're gonna tell me church men cheat, but I'm gonna do the opposite. Literally go pick a man, that's trying to be a young pastor, he doesn't believe in sex before marriage, he's a young boy, go pick one of these guys. They look good. I've seen these boys, they got good skin. They dress well, they smell good. Young brothers. Now, you get me? There's loads of these guys. Pick them. Or if you don't want of those, go pick one of the Aki brothers that are strictly on his deen. He's proper there. He's not. Pick one, but you don't want to pick one. Go pick a guy that's doing software engineer. He's a gamer. He don't go outside like that. He has social anxiety.
But that doesn't mean.
Wait, hold on a second. Go pick a gamer. He has social anxiety. He doesn't want to go out. In actual fact, you need to take him out of his shell. He still looks good. He still looks good. He's not like what you're used to, but he's a different type. But you don't want that guy. Like my guy Go says, you call him a square. There's so many different types of black men. If you want to go for black men, because we'll speak about black men. There's only black men. There's not one type of archetype of black man. And alpha comes in all different types of shapes and sizes and attributes of business types. It's not one type of alpha man if that's what you want.
But like I say, some people do arranged marriage.
No, wait, stop. We will talk about arranged marriage. Let's go back. There's not one type of man. Why can you not pick one of these other types of men?
Women like to pick the bad
No,
boys
because
and
those
then
type
wonder
of
why they're
men,
bad.
like you said earlier, all men cheat. So it doesn't matter if you're picking a game.
No,
It doesn't mean he ain't cheating when he's got to get a new
wait,
game.
stop. I didn't say all men cheat. I said what you prescribe to all men cheat. I said the percentage of men that you go for, you look for cheat, yeah? I'm talking about the other men that don't do it now. Why are we not speaking about these men? I'm talking about the other types of men that are out there. Let's speak about these men now. Let's not speak about Chad and Tyrone and Jerome and Jermaine. Let's not speak about them. Let's speak about these other men. You get me? Let's speak about these other men. Let's speak about Henry. Let's speak about
cheats.
No,
look at, for example, prime example. Look at Diana. Look at Princess Diana and
Wait,
Princess
I said to you, let's talk about someone else, and you said to me, these men still cheat. Then, in that case, why are you even complaining for? If everyone cheats, you need to just hush your mouth, yeah, and just be like, well, every man cheats. Pick the richest man that cheats and keep your mouth shut and just hope he buys, just buy something. If every man cheats, why are you even complaining for?
If every man cheats, it doesn't make it acceptable. Do you understand?
What?
So stand for something or fall for anything.
No.
But you still have values and
If every man
principles
cheats,
about
that means
matters.
that's what men do, and you're the one that's got the problem. If every man does it, you're the one that's got the problem because you don't know your level. And your level is only getting men that cheat on you. And you don't like it. But that's why we're here.
Okay,
That's your level. That's your level.
So for
That's
example,
your
let me
level.
give you a prime
Your
example.
level is not getting married. Your level isn't getting married. Your level is baby mom.
Wait,
That's your level.
listen. No,
That's your level.
you can't
I
predict
can see
someone's
that.
level.
You're chosen it. You don't believe in marriage. You don't believe in that. Your level is baby moms. That's why.
It's not. I'm
that's
just
your
saying
level.
in general, if a
That's
guy
your
ain't right
level.
for
That's
me
your
or I
level.
don't find someone, I'm not going to just marry him just to save face. Neither.
Because if the right man that you wanted came, you would, but you can't get those type of men because that is your level. Baby, that's
What
your
are you
level.
talking about? Okay, let's give a prime example because you said not to pick the Jermaines, the Tyrones, or the Chads. Let's do, for example, Princess Diana and Charles. He was having a whole affair on her. What happened there? She didn't even pick this life that she wanted to be famous and all of this, but obviously she fell in love. You can't help who you fall in love with, but it doesn't allow an excuse. Now he was having a whole affair, and now his wife today, or whatever, his girlfriend, I don't even know if they got married or whatever, but she's now going to be the new queen.
Okay, Kay's like, seriously, let me on. I'll let you on.
But do you actually think all men cheat? Is that your honest opinion? Like, do you honestly think all men cheat?
I feel men do what you allow them to do.
I'll say this with my chest.
No.
The longer women think that all men cheat, the more miserable we are going to be. Because that is a very horrible mindset to be in. And I've been in it.
That's why it's miserable.
Every man's going to cheat
Who's
on
miserable?
me. They're not.
What do you mean?
Miserable. Like, no, women, like,
what
society today, let me tell you this, society today, now there's not a lot of marriages, and now there's not even a lot of, like, okay, husband and wife, and loads of people are turning, like, gay and stuff like that.
What?
It's because
No. Stop it. Hey,
Yes.
listen.
Yeah.
Listen.
No.
No,
Let's
wait,
keep.
wait,
Can
wait,
I
wait.
finish?
Listen,
Selena,
Let
listen,
me
yes.
finish off my
listen,
speaking.
listen,
And wait,
listen,
can I finish?
listen.
Because I ain't
No, no, no,
finished.
no, no,
I
no, no,
ain't
no, no.
finished.
If you're
Let me
gonna,
say
no, no,
my
no, no,
point
no.
because you
If you're
can't
gonna talk,
interact.
no, we need
You
to
can't
cover
interject. I mean, if
facts.
you ain't heard my full point.
No, because I need to hear. No, because I want to ask for stats. You're not gonna come with like we don't do with him. If you're gonna start telling me this
Okay,
stuff,
I
yeah.
will Google the stats that were on this call. I can do all of that. I'm smart as
So
well,
more men
so
are becoming
we
gay.
can do all
Like
of
you,
that. But I'm
more men
saying
are becoming.
many women. All right,
More
prime
men are becoming
example.
gay. Well, you women are becoming more masculine, and you can't get a man in your baby mums, and you can't keep a
No,
Guys,
relationship.
that's
let's
not
finish,
it.
man.
That's not it.
You
Because
don't think
there's
that's
many
it?
people who don't even have kids at their term because they're with a guy who treats her and a woman's treating them better. So what are you on about? It's not about baby mother or whatever because any single person, it doesn't matter. You can have a baby and still be married. You can have a baby and still think it doesn't matter who you are. Domestic violence and stuff like that doesn't say, oh, because you're a baby mom, that doesn't happen. Or because you don't have a kid, it doesn't happen because people come on the platform. So you've got two ladies on here now. One, I'm not sure if she's got a kid, but I believe she doesn't, and the other one does. And the same shit happens. So what are you on about?
Mhm.
You
What
need
are
to
you
look
talking
at it as
about
the
now?
bigger picture.
I
Pardon?
don't know where this conversation gone to. I don't know what you. I don't know. I
Do
don't
you
know
not
where.
get what I'm saying? Because he's not
Yeah,
I
no.
don't
listening.
know if
It's
people
not
jump
going
from
in
very
the
different
narrative you
topics.
want it to go in. So,
What now? I don't understand. Do do all men cheat or no? I don't understand it. What do you what? I don't understand.
Personally, I don't think. I think that of course women cheat. Of course women cheat. But
No, I'm not talking about women. She told me she says she keep. I don't understand. Right? It's either all men cheat or they don't. And what does she prescribe to?
I
Is it
think
all
all
men?
men do cheat. I do think all men cheat. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so then, if all men cheat, Zoe, then by what you're saying, then yeah, then it doesn't matter. Every man's gonna cheat on you. So what are you bitching about?
And
Why are you?
Listen,
do
listen.
you
I'm
think that
trying to
all
touch
men
on some
cheat because of
subject you
your
just said.
situation? Do
Um,
you sorry, babe, do you
no,
think that all men cheat because of your situation? Or was that an opinion before all of this happened? Because
no, I don't.
whatever answer is, it's absolutely fine. But I'm just intrigued. It's like of women that have been through what we have. Do we then automatically think all men are bad, or like is it subjective? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say that women cheat because of that. Because I personally wouldn't now go into a relationship and think, oh, because I've been cheated and I'm going to go and cheat. I don't condone cheating at all. So no, I don't think that. But I just want to touch up on something with China. Something you just said about, saying about what was it something in the comments? Said something about women that can be the best women in the world. They can do this, do that, whatever. Like that is so not true. You can literally be the best woman in the world. You could literally be a fucking servant. You can be a queen. You can be literally kissing a man's foot on the
Yeah.
floor and he will still go and cheat on you. He will still
Yeah.
go and cheat
So
on
what,
you.
so what does that tell you, Zoe, then?
Huh?
What does that tell you, then, what you're telling me?
No, because you're saying that, like,
No,
going back to the original thing about women.
no, what does what you're telling me tell me? What does what you're saying tell me, then? Or tell you?
All men cheat. And
So,
they will cheat regardless. And they will cheat
okay,
regardless.
wait.
No,
I
hold on.
wait, Zoe, I'm going to let you do this, but, okay, so.
Zoe, I'm Kaylee. You got the wrong girl. You're thinking of my friend.
No, because, yeah.
You think I've got Zoe's voice? We might have similar. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Ken, sorry, Ken. So, if all men do this, and you think this, and he thinks this, she doesn't necessarily think it, then what are the options for women to do? What are the options for? I'm just asking. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just asking you, what are the options?
I've got a friend, male friend, who is married, doing his thing, whatever. But he always says to me, Evie, find a 4, not a 10 out of 10. Find a 4. He'll love the bones off you. He's less likely to cheat on
they
you.
cheat even more.
They'll still cheat.
They cheat
So
even
you
more.
can't win whatever the answer is.
They
I'll be
will
honest
still
with you.
cheat. Because they
It's
know
not
that they're
actually.
ugly, they will still cheat because they've got to try and make up for something in their pants. They will still cheat.
So, Kay, if even the ugly men, the short men would cheat, the fat men would cheat, what are you saying now? Don't you think it makes more sense to get with the most high value of men that will cheat? Because he's going to cheat on me, but even the broke guy with no job is going to cheat on me. So who makes more sense for me to be with? Don't you think? Or is it going to be like, you know what? Let me get with women. But
No,
guess what?
China, you have a point. I understand
Women
what you're
cheat on women
saying.
too.
So there's a difference. So if you're gonna cheat, I mean, if a guy's gonna cheat on you, at least get
Yeah.
with a guy where it's kind of beneficial for you. You might be living in the big house. You're getting everything you need. It makes more sense. So when you're heartbroken, at least you can say, all right, this
Okay.
week I'm going on a
It's
cruise
better to
with
cry in
my
the bed
friend.
than
But
to
this is the
cry in the
problem we're
sofa.
having in
Yes,
society.
yes.
We're having this problem in society. Let me tell you what we're having. It's because we feel like, you see, a guy will only do what you allow him to do. So, if, for example, if a guy cheats on me and every time he cheats, I say I'm going to leave. You know, like back in the day, people used to be like, if a guy cheats, I'm gone. There ain't no questioning. There's no talking about it. It's just done. And then that happens and they're like, okay, let's try and work on it. And then because he knows now you've allowed him back in again, he continues to do it because he's like, okay, cool. She's going to be mad. She'll probably kick me out the house for a few days. I'll go and start my friends or my mom and I'll be back. And the more you allow them back, is the more you feel like you make them feel like it's okay.
That's a switch
So
in
when
society, though, that is.
Yes, but that's what I'm trying to say. So when you start breaking some curves, and this is why it gets back to the stage where women are single baby moms, because it's like, yes, they can stay with that guy. Yes, it does make sense. They've got kids and whatever, but what the lifestyle ain't for them, and that's okay as well. So if
But
you
back
feel
in the
like you
day,
want
when you used
better
to sit by them,
and
back
you
in the
can do
day,
better, then why not? It only makes sense. So
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
feel
back
like
in the
you need to
day,
break some circles.
I agree with you completely. But see, obviously I'm different because I knew I was getting cheated on. That's the thing. Like, as sad as it is, I knew that I was getting cheated on, and I knew that my whole relationship that I was getting fucked out on. I knew that, but I didn't leave. Not because I was being cheated on, but because obviously I was in a DV relationship. I was being controlled. It was the whole psychological abuse, that sort of stuff. So that's the whole reason why I didn't leave. I didn't think, oh yeah, I'm being cheated on, let me just stay because I'm a mug. Like, it's a completely different story why I didn't leave. But now, like, looking back in hindsight, yeah, of course I should have left. But what I'm saying is, like, carry on, because I'm
no,
just,
but
I'm,
this is,
yeah,
what
I'm
she's
getting in
saying
my
is
feels.
right. So go back a few decades or whatever. If the woman stayed or the woman forgave, they'd work at it together. They'd probably build a better bond. Whereas society's changed now, and people take like the piss basically. If you are forgiven, they'll go do it double because they think, oh, I'm
Yeah.
getting away with that. Whereas it wasn't like that before, and that's why there's less marriage. That's why there's less families. That's why people leave straight away, because people take the piss out of vulnerability.
And before there wasn't so many platforms where you can speak and get help. Like now they do like the Me Too and whatever, the cancel culture and whatever. So now women are more feeling like they're
Me Too
able.
ruined things for women.
Hmm?
Me Too ruined things for women.
But you know, the problem is, yeah, I feel like the problem in society today, what it is, you see, like you've got like these two, I don't know them, but obviously sometimes you can like actually hear a story and say, do you know what? You can see they're genuine. But then they tell the truth, and then you get the one woman what ain't telling the truth, and then it kind of, the ones who are, it's
Yeah.
disbelief. So it's like, and then they get scared because it's like they didn't believe her or
Yeah, no, I
whatever, so they
agree.
don't want to speak up.
When I was
That's
on
the
that
problem we have.
podcast,
Yeah.
when I was on that
Exactly,
podcast
exactly
that
that.
China was on, so when I went on this podcast the other week, I was sitting on there saying, domestic violence is not you abusing your man to the point of him hitting you. If you are verbally abusing your man, you are giving him domestic abuse. So like, and then women are like, oh, he hit me, and then when you get asked, oh, what did you do? Well, for us, it was probably innocent. We probably didn't do anything. But for the women that have like shouted and screamed and hit out and done all that, they've probably been boxed up once, because I'm not saying it's right, but they've been boxed up after about an hour's worth of verbal abuse. That's not domestic violence. That's you giving domestic abuse. And it's so frustrating because then people like me and you don't get taken seriously, or PTSD
Yeah, no,
is the
I do
butt of a
agree.
joke. Or
I
China,
do agree. It works both ways. Of course it does. I get that. It does definitely work both ways.
China, I've got something to say about you as well. So you see when you, not about you, sorry, about what you said. So you've made a statement, okay, cool. If a guy's gonna, if we think all guys cheat, it's better
Yeah.
to stay with the guy who's wealthy. Now, this is a true story. So in regards to, no, it's better to stay with a guy who has money and it's like, than a guy who's like bummy. Do you get what I mean? When he wears it up, which is true. It's like you're gonna date a guy and like get cheated on by a broke guy more than a guy okay, at least you're stable. Do you get what I mean? You have stuff where you can say, even if you was to say fuck him tomorrow, you still have stuff where you can make a life for yourself.
Yeah.
Cool. I do get that, but then this is a story. So this is like, you know, the R. Kelly situation now with one of his girlfriends. So you got Azriel Kelly. Clary, whatever her name is, the young girl. He was with one of his girlfriends. So he done her breast. She was living in a mansion. She done her booty. She done all of this. but she was with him. So now when she's talking out, people are saying, I don't believe you, because now the man's broke. Now you're speaking. But when you was living up that, like, obviously eating the shit what you said that he made you do and all of that, and your breast is getting done, he was everything. But now there's no more funds to be run, and you want to now speak your truth. How is it believable? Because she's already taken so much. You get what I mean? So then that also can backfire. So it's one of them ones, if you know within yourself you never want to speak out, do that. But if you are going to eventually speak out, just leave it how it is. Because then you become like, okay, cool. Now, because you don't have money, or how he had money like a year or 5 years ago, it's not the right, like, it's not the same amount of money now. All of a sudden, he's this, he's that. But when he was funding you to do your girls' trip, when he was giving them over like $3,000 to do Christmas shopping for themselves, when he's buying them like LV bags and doing all of that, all of a sudden he wasn't this monster. But now all of that's ended, he's this terrible guy.
So yeah, so my thing is just, you know, like, whether or not I'm trying to, it's not me, it's you women that have to come to terms with things. It's not me. I continue to just explain this, and women keep arguing with me, but it's not, it's what do your results in your life say? Do your results say more men that I interact with are cheating? Yeah? If that's what they say, and that's what you believe, then you have to understand that cheating is a westernized philosophy or concept, right? Stepping out, or men doing whatever. Men have always done this. Throughout history, throughout time, kings and men of stature have always had more than one woman. Yeah? It's only, you do realize man like King Charles can have as many women as he wants. It's only because of current ways things are, but they've always had multiple women and always done things, weird things. That's how it is, right? Men of value have always had more access to more than one woman, and women have always shared. This is why whenever a woman has two babies,
But that's fairy tale shit. That's fairy tale shit, though.
No. What I'm saying to you is, you were sold a fairy tale. This is why you're mad about cheating.
No.
Wait, listen.
I'm mad about cheating.
No, I'm saying
that shit is because I'm mad about cheating. It's a fairy tale shit.
All right. The whole reason we're having a discussion is because women don't understand that, or they believe that every man cheats. But if every man cheats, then why are you even bothered for? It is you women that have been sold an image of what men do or don't do. But if every man does it, then is it not you that has been lied to, not the men?
But listen, I only come on here, right, to make 2 points. Let me tell you, I come on to make 2 points. My first point was that this is my 2 points, yeah, and then I'm going to go away, okay, because I'm going to go to bed. My 2 points are, the first one, you cannot preempt or foresee that a man is going to cheat on you. You can't. I don't care what anyone has to say. No one has a fucking thing on their head that says, I am going to cheat on you. You can't get into a relationship.
It's called red flags.
No, but listen to me. Listen to me. Okay, I'm a big woman now. I'm 33, but at 18 years old, when I got with my husband, he never had on his head, I'm going to cheat on you. So no, I did not go into a relationship thinking, I'm going to meet this guy, he's going to cheat on me. No, so I can't accept that.
How long did he say?
And the second thing, I was making a point. And the second thing was,
I asked you when he cheated on you. How long did you, after the first time before you left him? How long?
I believe into a few years into it. I believe.
I'm not going to make it all about you, because you know. But then, the moment that you didn't leave the first time, the moment that you made it okay and you chose a man that cheated on you, the moment you discovered he cheated and you didn't put your foot down and left, you made it okay.
But do you know what narcissistic abuse is? They psychologically abuse you into thinking that you're insane. They make you think that you're insane.
But once again, we're going to speak about
imagining it.
I know, but at the same time, the moment where you did not leave and you carried on going, just like M did, and the moment she went, it's the moment where you made it okay. The moment you reported it, the moment where you left, the moment where that was the moment you did well. The moment you went back is the moment where you said it was okay.
But like I'm saying to you though, I do get what you're saying. I agree with you. I do get what you're saying. In most cases, no, listen, listen to me. Listen to me.
Wait, hold on. I'm just getting my charger. Hold on a second.
All right. Okay.
I feel like everyone leaves at different stages. You have to be mentally and kind of physically at some sort
Yeah, and
of
I'm
strength.
not gonna lie. Sometimes I want to turn the camera away and be like, I can't deal with this. It's triggering. Of course, it's horrible. It's horrible. But what I'm saying to you is, right, Charlie, listen to me.